We have fresh tangerines growing in October here in Zone 5, Wisconsin. I think in order to understand where we are with these tangerines, we need to go back in time and take a look at where this plant started earlier this winter. Guten Yardening, everybody! Well, today is a day I have been looking forward to for months, and I do mean months because today's the day we try our tangerines for the first time. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of this tree, and then you're going to get to watch me do a harvest here. I'm just going to start with one. We're going to open it up and I'm going to try to describe how it tastes. Now I have some questions since this is the first time we've ever actually grown tangerines, and definitely the first one I will have ever harvested, but I'm really excited to dig in and see what this one tastes like. Now the first thing I want to do is to show you all of the fruit that are on here, because we have, at my count, 18 tangerines. Now they don't all look full and lush. This one, for example, looks fantastic. This one is a little smaller and it's actually still pretty hard, but some of these on here have started to soften up, like this one right here. We've got a nice soft feeling to it, and so that's one of the signs that lets us know it's ready to be harvested. Now we haven't done a taste test up to this point, so this will be my first reaction to this. Now this is our third year with this plant, but the first year that we're getting any fruit whatsoever. Earlier this winter we did a video where we said finally we've got some blossoms happening and some fruit starting, and there were fruit all over this plant. But one of the cool things about a plant like this is that any of the fruit that won't grow fully, or that would overload the production of this plant, it will come along and just drop them off naturally. So only the ones that are going to survive, that the plant can handle, will be the ones that make it through. So while we had a ton of these small fruits on earlier and a ton of blossoms, what we're left with, which I think is substantial, is 18 of these fruits. Now one of the things I think that made a huge difference this year, and why we got so much production off a plant that's really not that big, is that we hand pollinated the blossoms. And we had to do that because we started this growing indoors. So when those blossoms first formed, we didn't have any natural pollinators. But with the help of a little paintbrush, we were able to get in there and really make sure all of the blossoms were as pollinated as we could, and the results are very clear. Now depending on the climate, a tangerine can take up to 10 months to ripen fully, and actually that's almost exactly where we are with this time frame. One of the things I noticed is when we first brought this outdoors from inside in our grow area, we placed it in an area that was partially shaded. And quite frankly, there was not a ton of ripening happening with these fruits. We then moved it to where it is right now, and it was like the difference of night and day. The fruits started to ripen almost immediately, and now about 4 weeks later, here's where we are with all of these lovely looking fruit. Now there is the possibility, because this is our first time growing these, that the taste isn't what I expect. Again, I don't really know. I'm just excited to give it a try. One of the other things we noticed about the leaves here is a majority of them now look nice and healthy, that deep green we're looking for, although we do still have some yellowing happening here as well. So we want to make sure that we're not making a mistake with regard to the amount of nutrients in here. But clearly, based on this production anyway and the size of these, we're doing okay, I think. This is the one, this is probably the biggest one out here, and it's nice and soft. This is the one I'm going to pick for this taste test. So let's get this one cut off. And now I'm going to take a little knife. We're going to open this up and see what's inside. Well, the first thing I noticed when I cut this off is that the smell coming from right here where it's been clipped is amazing. That fresh orange smell. I mean, you already know the blossoms smell really good, but when you get that kind of smell coming off the top, it just smells, I don't know, it's something about the smell of orange that makes me feel hungry. All right, I'm going to bring the camera in really close here so you can see that first cut inside. Now normally I would just peel this for sure, but I want to cut it open so we can see the fruit inside. Take a look at this. That looks amazing. Our first ever tangerine cut open the smell is, sometimes a fruit smells sour. This one does not smell sour. So I think that's a good sign. We'll see. We'll see. I've been anticipating this moment for quite some time. All right, I'm just going to peel the skin a little bit here so we can see. Oh, look how easy that peels off. That is exactly, oh. All right, here we go. Well, what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and give this a taste, and then I'm going to share the rest with my family because this is a family affair, and we all get to try everything together. So here we go, our first taste of our homegrown Zone 5 Wisconsin tangerine. Here we go. Oh man, that is amazing. It's so sweet. There's not a hint of sour in this. That is absolutely fantastic. And I'll be honest with you, they were taking so long to ripen, and they were so firm when they were green, and even as they started to turn, I was afraid the end result was going to be some sort of rancid taste. I couldn't have been farther from correct. That was amazing. There's plenty. There's plenty. I'm going to have another piece. I was only going to have one piece, but I'm going to have another piece. That is absolutely fabulous. And one thing I've always liked about tangerines is just how easily everything peels off. Take a look at this. Look at the outside area. Everything. This is perfectly shaped, perfectly formed. It's actually a little bit, it's not really tender, it's not too soft. It's perfect for what we want. I got to go for another one. Fantastic. Now, one of the other benefits of growing tangerines is that one serving of tangerines contains about 85% of the daily recommended value of vitamin C. So it's a great fruit to add to your forest. And again, we're growing it in Zone 5, so it's not really a fruit that's limited to a growing zone as long as you have the ability to move it in and outdoors. Well, here's something I know. The weight, absolutely worth it. If you've ever wondered about growing these kinds of fruits in a zone that they're not really made for outdoors, this one would probably be best suited for zones 8 plus if I was trying to grow it outdoors all year long. As long as you have a space indoors where this can grow and you can overwinter it, it's going to be just fine. And right now I'm in October, and we're just going to get to the point where the weather's cooling off enough that we have to bring it back inside. And so we've still got a couple of weeks of enjoying this, letting it ripen, and we've got 18 fruit on here that we as a family can enjoy. Well, this was a super exciting video for me. I hope you enjoyed this video as well. I'm going to go share this with the rest of my family. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like, leave us a comment, remember to share and subscribe. And most importantly, remember, when you're with us, you are good to grow.